Super Mario Odyssey Part 12, and here we are in the Lake Kingdom again. Sorry about that weird opening there, but anyway, the last video ended with me putting on the snorkeling equipment that you can use to get into the dress here for the Lock Lady dress, which is missing because Bowser ran off with it. If you open up the door and then walk inside of there, you will be able to throw Hattie on top of the wireframe model there, I guess that's what it is, and when you let it spin on top, all you have to do is push Y and then hold Y to have it continuously spin, a moon will pop out. But I did not know this when I first did this, so I didn't actually get that moon until after the dress comes back, which it does when you beat the game. Also, when you open up that door, you're going to have to open it up every single time that you come through here. So I opened up the door and then ran off thinking, oh, it'll be open for good now, but no, if you want to open it up again, you're going to have to make sure that you have this gear still on. And I do eventually go inside that room, but I'm also looking for that fifth moon piece that I'm missing, which I'm not finding up here, but there's a few other things we can do. So up here, you'll notice there's a checkpoint flag that I haven't gotten yet, and a bunch of Goombas. Really, there's not a whole lot here besides the portal that we'll be going into, and also a couple of coins. So I'm going to be jumping down here after my Goomba escapade there, and you'll be able to see inside of this pond is a painting a little bit reminiscent of Super Mario 64. So when you come on in here, you'll find that this will take you to another world, which means that each kingdom actually has one of these paintings that will take you to a hidden star in some other kingdom, or a hidden moon inside of some other kingdom. So in this case, we're going to be heading from Lake Kingdom to Luncheon Kingdom, which is not one we actually visit until quite a bit later in the game. So that's pretty much just how this works, and you'll be able to run into most of these on your own before you beat the game, but there's a bunch that you probably won't find before you beat the game just because getting to that spot, or there's really no reason to explore that area of the map until you're looking for all the moons, which you're not really going to be doing until after you beat the game, because that's when you'll have all of them actually available to you. I hope that makes sense, but anyway, just keep an eye out, look for these, but you don't really have to go out of your way to search for them unless you're trying to 100% the kingdoms, because you're going to be able to find more than enough moons to do whatever you need without any of those portals, but if you want 100% the kingdom, you have to find them anyway. So the final moon piece is right in there, which we knew from the last video, but finally I decided to go and get it, and you can just follow on the top there. And we're going to be getting a few moons in here. One of them, I think, is going to be kind of hilarious the way I decided to do it. But the way I did it works, and there's a better way to do it that I will be saying as soon as I decide to finally go in there. I don't know if do I do it right now? Yes, okay. So what you're supposed to do here is actually take a Cheep Cheep, and you're supposed to put the Cheep Cheep inside and swim all the way down here. Now you can, if you have 6 hearts, actually ground pound all the way to the bottom of this and make it out to where you need to be, I think by only taking 2 points of damage. It's really nice if you have 6 hearts though, because if you take 3 points of damage, if you're a little bit slow, then of course you're gonna die. So we'll see how much damage I actually take here. I think I only take 2 hits. So there's 1. Now weirdly, when I tried to do this, okay, there's 2. I think I have enough. Yep, okay, so you only need 2. You only need full health really to make it here without a Cheep Cheep. Now weirdly, I swam in there with that Cheep Cheep. We saw this like about a minute ago now. I did swim into that main place with a Cheep Cheep, and yet when I went in there he like died for some reason. And I did this later when I came back into this world to get all the moons on my own. I came in here and was like, okay, what is that going to look like with the Cheep Cheep? So I went in there with the Cheep Cheep again, and it worked. The Cheep Cheep didn't die when I went through that hole, so I don't know why that happened, and many times now I've gone through that with a Cheep Cheep, so I don't really know why that happened in this video. Maybe it was too high or something, I have no idea. But anyway, there's Captain Toad down there, which I believe is the first time we've run into him. Kind of weird that Nintendo isn't going to let Captain Toad die. I mean, they introduce him kind of in Super Mario 3D World, and then they make a whole game for him, which was a very fun game. It was a surprisingly fun game. And then they decide to bring him back in this game. So of course, each kingdom is going to have a Captain Toad. I believe each kingdom, almost every kingdom, will have a Captain Toad hidden somewhere around, and when you find him, he will very nicely give you a power moon. Some locations for Toad are a little bit more difficult to get to than some other kingdoms, but for the most part, he's pretty accessible. We're also going to be dealing with all of the Broodals, or the single Broodal inside of this video. That'll be the end of this video, basically. But to get to there, we have to swim up to the top of this place, and we'll be getting that in a second here after I go in. After I go inside and look at the very empty Lock Lady dress. So of course you need to have the snorkeling outfit on before she will let you in here. And right there, if you swing your hat on top of that, like I said earlier, and then you push and hold Y, something I did not know at the time, then the moon will come out. So that's something that you may want to look forward to, or may want to try to do if you're playing this too. But really, that's something that I should have figured out at this point. I didn't figure it out right now, and I don't know, it just was a little bit of a weird moment. So I'm just like, alright, well, I guess I can't get that moon yet. I thought the dress had to come back, but no, it doesn't. But I do eventually come back here when the dress has been returned and get it that way. Okay, so now we're going to be swimming back up here to look at a few other things. There's something you can get here. I think you have to beat the game before this moon becomes unlockable. Do I talk to her? I don't know if I talk to her or not. Looks like I do it. Okay, yeah, so you'll have to beat the game. But when you beat the game, if you come back here and you put a cheap inside of that little pool, then you'll be able to get another moon there, so that's kind of cool. There's also some coins that are actually just right behind that pillar on the water. It kind of looks like they're inside the pillar, but when you go through it, they're not inside, they're actually on the outside. So just swim up on the top here and then push on the P block, and this will allow you to open up the doorway and then finally swim up to get to our goal, which is the Broodals. So there's going to be a couple of boxes here. Of course, whenever you want them to be, none of them have more than one coin, but as soon as you get the one that you think doesn't have multiple coins, of course it has multiple coins. By the time you can hit it, its timer has expired and it only has one coin left. Oh, Nintendo has always done that. So anyway, come up here, hit this P block. This will give you a nice little shortcut so you don't have to go through there again. All you have to do is swim under that spinning flower and you'll be able to come right up here. And then there's going to be a zipper that we can unzip, and I believe this will give us access to, yep, looks like 4 more coins. So not totally important, but if you don't have this outfit yet, you are going to want to get these coins. And this world has some of the fewer coins, only 50. A lot of other worlds have 100, so 50 is a pretty okay amount. I have 33, and this is just from the beginning, so that means it's going to be a pretty easy world to get all the coins in. And of course, there are going to be stars later, or sorry, moons later on that you can get, that you can only get when you've bought a certain amount of souvenirs from all of the shops. So that means that you're really going to want to try to get these coins if your goal is 100% this game. If your goal isn't 100% this game, then you don't really have to worry about it. Now I think I go on over to those coins over there because there's really no reason not to get them. And for some reason there's a lot of these Goombas on this little platform, but they're not too difficult to take care of. Like I said though, Goombas end up dealing the most damage of any of the dang enemies in this game for some strange reason. So we're gonna spin on back over here, get this checkpoint flag, finally we're up here, and then we can run into, I think, the third Broodal, right? I think this is the third one. Now this guy is definitely my least favorite one. His hat is kind of annoying and it's not very difficult, but first he'll throw it at you, so all you have to do is hit it and then jump on the hat, not on him, which I thought I was trying to do there. And then you'll jump on the hat and then that'll let you spin up above him because he'll be spending a lot of time trying to look for you. And it's also kind of strange because it almost looks like you're going to hit him before you actually do, but to speed that up you can just hold ZL, I think, or ZL, one of the L buttons so you can zoom down really quickly, and that's really all you need to do. So there goes my heart boost. That would have killed me if I hadn't had that, which would have been great. The second time he's going to throw his hat in kind of a circular pattern, which is going to be a little bit different to dodge than the first one, because the first one he just threw it straight at you. And then he's going to jump at you and a bunch of patter for him again. And for his final attack, I think he's going to throw 2 hats at us here, and you just have to hit one of them. Oh no, okay, I must be thinking of the later time we fight him. He just throws it in a circular pattern again, and then it kind of cuts off there. Okay, so that's not too bad, just got to hit it again and jump on him the third time, and then that'll give us the Broodal star for this video, which is, or I mean for this kingdom, and I think we have Dude, I don't know if we come back here. We might come back here, and this might be the end of Lake Kingdom. I'll find out in the next video. But anyway, that'll be it for this one, and I'll be continuing on in part 13.